All right, so I abruptly ended the last video so that we could do this cleanly. Let's go back to the beginning of this. I want to prove these two triangles are similar. There's only one way to prove similarity, and that's AA is similar to AA, which means I need to show a pair of angles in one triangle congruent to a pair of triangles in the other triangle. And to show you why I don't have to do AAA is because in both cases the triangles add up to 180. So if I show that two of them are congruent, the third one will necessarily be congruent as well. So I only need to show two. So let's set this up. These really are very easy as far as a way to do proofs. As always, we always start with the given. And one of the things I've tried very hard to emphasize is that when you do a proof, you always first focus on the given. Don't focus on the picture. Yes, you acknowledge the picture, you see it, we'll come back to it later. For now, we're going to focus on this given, and it talks about being parallel. As soon as I see parallel, I think corresponding angles, and I think alternate interior. And since these is all Z's and so on, I'm thinking alternate interior. So I'm going to say that angle 1 is congruent to angle 2 by alternate interior angles of parallel lines are congruent. You see the Z I have here? There's my alternate interior angles. Now, to be honest with you, I could have also done angle S and angle Q, but I also wanted to get a little bit of practice in with the next step, which allows you to look at the diagram, and you should see right smack in the middle there at R are a pair of vertical angles. So I could say angle 3 is congruent to angle 4 by intersecting lines form congruent vertical angles. And if you notice, I now have an angle, and I am done. So step 4, triangle PRQ is similar to triangle SRT by AA is similar to AA. So that's a quick similarity proof. We'll do another one in our next lesson. We'll do another one in the lesson after that. We're not going to do too many of them, but I wanted you to be able to see that similarity is only done with AA. That's the only way to do similarity, which is why whenever in previous questions we have multiple choice and it would say, which of the following ways can you prove the triangle's congruent? They would always make a choice AA. AA never proves congruent. It only proves similar. But it gives you a little bit of practice with that. Now, a little bit of our summary for what we went over today with respect to similar figures. First, all the sides are proportional in similar figures, and all of the angles are congruent. To find the missing length, little is to big as little is to big. Little is to big as little is to big. Little is too big as little is too big. God, you can see why I was cut from a church choir. Next, the line segment that contains the midpoints of two sides of a triangle form a segment that's parallel to the third side half as long. And the only way to prove triangles similar is with AA. So that, folks, brings us to the end of lesson 17.